Growing up, I would do a lot of athletics in high school, and even in college, I'd play around a bit, just out with my friends playing basketball. But probably for the past 10 years, I've taken a break from fitness, got real comfortable sitting on the couch watching TV. But just this past year, I started doing CrossFit here in town at CrossFit Murdoch. Throughout this past year, I've noticed a lot of similarities between spiritual discipline as well as physical fitness. The first one I want to talk about is in regards to faking. In church, oftentimes you feel pressure around other people who seem very spiritual and seem like they know the Bible real well, talk about praying a lot. So sometimes we want to keep up that persona for ourselves. And sometimes we lie to ourselves and talk about praying a lot and reading our Bible a lot, when in actuality, we may not be doing it as much as we should. It's very similar in physical fitness. You can talk a big game and say how many pull-ups and push-ups you can do, but if you can't actually do them, you'll be exposed very quick in the gym. So you want to tie that to our spiritual fitness. If you say that you're reading your Bible and praying often and fasting when you need to, it's important that you do so. You'll see the results from it. It's not so much about pride and what you're actually doing. It's about seeing the results from those disciplines and doing them on a consistent basis. The next thing I notice in regards to spiritual disciplines is when it comes to competing with yourself. In physical fitness, a lot of people will come into the gym and they'll look on the board and see how much weight this other person's doing, how many push-ups they can do, how many pull-ups they can do, and then they'll try to match that for themselves. And whether they match it or whether they don't, it's a prideful thing. And you really should focus on competing with yourself. As long as you're getting better on a daily basis, that's really the only thing you should be concerned with. And the same is true with spiritual disciplines. You don't compete with anybody else as to how many books of the Bible you've read this week or how many verses you can quote from heart compared to somebody else. It's really about competing with yourself and trying to step your spiritual disciplines up on a daily basis and making sure you're doing what you're supposed to do and making sure you read the Bible, making sure you're praying when you're supposed to and those types of things. And just worry about what you're doing. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. The next thing I want to talk about is building each other up. In CrossFit, there's really two types of people. People that have just finished the workout and then people who are still struggling through the workout. Even the people who already finished did struggle through it, but the cool thing is those people that finish first are usually stronger and faster, but what they do as soon as they catch their breath and they're done with the workout, they go back and encourage the people that are still struggling through it. And one of the coolest things about CrossFit is the very last person to finish the workout, the entire gym is around that person cheering them on, and then everybody's applauding when that person finishes, no matter how long it takes them. In regards to spiritual discipline, it's very similar. We have to build each other up in the church. If somebody's struggling with staying on a plan, or they don't know how to pray, or they're not familiar with how to read the Bible, it's important for us to encourage them, those that are more mature in their faith, to encourage those that are less mature and teach them, walk alongside them, and disciple them through some of the spiritual discipline processes. The next one I want to talk about is community. A big thing with CrossFit is they always give back to the community and they always honor a lot of the fallen heroes, whether they're policemen or firefighters or those in the military. One thing that CrossFit does is they'll create really strenuous, long, hard workouts in honor of our fallen heroes. The same thing can be a spiritual discipline when it comes to our faith. We want to build up the community around us, not just focus on the people that are inside the church or our circles of friends, but we want to go outside of the church and give back, whether it's helping build houses for organizations, or feeding the homeless, or helping out the poor. We have to give back, and that will help build our faith and build our connection with God by giving back. So again, just to wrap up, there's a lot of similarities between working out in general. It doesn't have to be CrossFit, but working out in general and physical fitness in regards to our spiritual disciplines.